Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be jumping into dip nails. There are many brands now out there that are offering the dip nails. To each their own on which one they prefer. I personally prefer Kiara Skies. I know there's other brands out there that are just as good as Kiara Skies, so you can always play around with it and choose a brand you want to do. But in this video, we're going to be touching on the powders we're going to be using. I'm actually using a Madam Glam powder and then a Kiara Skies powder. So let's get our model. And the one thing that's actually really cool about Kiara Skies too is they actually number their bottles. So we have our 2, 3, 5, 6, and and our 1. So that also makes it easier when it comes to like remembering your steps on what you're supposed to do next. So let's start. Okay, and here's our little model. We'll call her Felicia. Hey Felicia. And I think I'm going to use the pinky and the middle finger. So I'm going to take these guys off. So that way we have space in our frame and I have space to work with, because sometimes these get on my nerves because these ones are a little stiff. The model that I'm using today is actually from Flexi Hand. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to prep a natural nail. We're going to pretend that this is our natural nail. First, we are going to obviously want to shape it up. And my goal is to use the file for everything, because most likely that's what you're going to have. Now then also when we prep the natural nail, we're going to want to take the shine off as well as clean around the cuticle area. Prep is so important. Most of the time when it comes to my clients who've had dip, they last for an average of 2 to 3 weeks. Now, depending on your client's longevity of her nail itself, I've had clients who pretty much have their dip nails on till basically it grows completely out. So it just depends, but prep makes such a difference. So what you're going to do is just like in my general nail prep video, you're going to take it around the cuticle and get all that dead skin removed. The nail prep video I have itself also talks about cleaning the whole cuticle area, pushing the cuticles away. But in this video, I'm just going to show you how we buff around the cuticle area to help get that dead skin, as well as take the shine completely off the nail. Now, I'm not going crazy, going back and forth. I'm literally filing, lifting, filing, lifting, filing, lifting. And that's how you should do it to prevent messing your natural nail. Now, you can do the softer side of your file or you can do the rougher side. Personally, I like to use both. I like to initially, I kind of like just to feel how it goes with the nail, to be honest. But I feel like the rougher, as long as you're not going crazy, isn't going to damage your nail. It's all about taking the shine off, but it is going to give it a little bit more of a texture. Try to get up in here. It's a little bit more challenging because it's a flexi finger. Okay, so after that, we're going to clean our nail off. Now, for the purpose of the video, for step 1, it's bond, and we are going to apply it onto our fake nail. But obviously, if you had your natural nail or a client's, this would be on their natural nail. So we're going to apply that all around the nail. Just an even coat. This helps remove any excess oils as well as dries out the nail. And basically filing kind of helps do the same thing, but this is a double, what's the word? Double help with that area. I've asked Kiara Skies before. They said it's not necessary to apply primer. I personally still like applying primer to my dip nails. If you find that you're a person whose nails doesn't last longer, I would try using a primer and see if it makes a difference with you. You can put primers anywhere. Mia Seeker has them. Obviously, this is the A-Press one. I mean, Valentino, every company for the most part has a primer. You could probably even find one in a store, like a drugstore, like Target or Walmart or Walgreens of some kind, that will have it in the nail section, because primers are just used in general. My nail looks crooked, but from my angle it doesn't, but when I look on the camera it looks so crooked. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to number 2 of Kiara's, guys, or your base coat. And we're going to apply this base coat, and this is going to be more the strength of the nail. And you're only going to apply it halfway or 3/4 of the nail. Now, sometimes these guys can get stuck, which I literally just opened this and it's already stuck on me. Okay. So make sure you wipe it off beforehand. I'm like, I literally just opened this and now it's already stuck on me. Okay. So you don't want to do a crazy thick coat. You want to do a thin coat. You only want to apply from like here down. I don't even go to all the way to the side of the nail. I literally stay within the middle. And then you're going to take your powder, your dipping powder. This is the clear. And you're going to just apply it in there. And then you have a thin coat. This one isn't a dipping brand. I'm just using the Valentino because I did test out my other one that I had mentioned, and it was just too white. So I decided to switch to this one. So it's going to dry. Sorry, for some reason my throat keeps getting clogged. Then the next coat, you're not going to go all the way to the cuticle. You're going to want to leave like a hairline, and you can do a second coat for strength. So I like to kind of shake it, and this one I will go all the way out to the sides, but I like to really make sure. And the last paint I do, I like to do it right at the cuticle area, because that will dry super fast and you'll have missing pieces. So same thing, you're gonna have it at an angle, and it's more like you're putting it in there to let the product fall on the nail. So if you can see it, it's around the cuticle area, and we're not missing any gaps from where I painted. Obviously we have this part, but I've only gone up so far. And then that's how it is. So now, lightly brush it, and we're going to take our color, which I think I'm going to do the glitter one. And I'm just shaking it up so everything is nice, and we're going to use the Madam Glam. And so with this one, we're going to do the same thing. Take it all over the nail, taking strokes down to the side walls, to the other side wall. And like I said, I like to leave my last, brush strokes right there. Same thing. Take it, you can shake it. But look at that. So pretty. And we're not missing any of our cuticle area. I feel like that is the biggest thing I have noticed with people. So when they're doing dip nails, is that cuticle area disappears. So if you always make sure that's where you do your last coat or last stroke, or focus on that, you should be fine. So we're just going to dust it off. We'll do one more coat. So same thing. When I do my brush for my dip, I like to literally just take it and scrape it the one side, and a little bit more again. And then I apply it to my nail. That should be more than enough. And I actually like to go a little bit up, down, up, down, up, down. Not where it's being aggressive if it's still wet, but I do it because I like to make sure that everything is well saturated in there and coated. So last spot, our cuticle area, and then we're gonna do the same thing, angling the finger down, letting the product fall by tilting this forward as well towards the nail. And then we just tap it off. Now, unless you like your nails really thick or you just feel like your nail is just not coated enough by the color you used, by all means, go again. But from where we're at, I feel like the thickness is quite there. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to use a tray, or if you have a acrylic saver of some kind that were meant for dip, you can. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use a cuticle pusher, a tray, and the acrylic powder to apply my last coat. Now you're doing this because you don't want your colors to mix into your clear. Once you have this, you're going to basically disregard the acrylic that you're pouring on it. So the same thing, we're going to apply our final coat of clear, and this is just to protect your color and your acrylic that you've already applied once you're filing and buffing on top, just to make sure everything's smooth. So we're going to focus right again on the cuticle area, boop, boop, boop. And now you want to go quickly. You're going to pour this on your nail. Now you can get your sidewalls. Now if you only have one color and one clear and you don't see yourself switching, you don't really have to do this. And if you're dusting your nail off pretty well, you can most likely skip this step. But I don't know if you can see it in here. You can see how even though I dusted my nail off, I still have glitter showing up on here. So that is why you do it separately. Now we're going to clean this guy off before you close them off. So what I would recommend is getting a paper towel, spraying it with alcohol, and going around your thing. You could take your brush out if you want. And I like to wipe all around the rim, and put it back on. That way you have a higher chance of it not sticking. The Kiara Skies ones are glass, and I have had them break before on me trying to open them up. It just gets stuck. And you also have the brush saver too, that kind of helps with that. So now we're going to dust this nail off. And we are going to apply our next step, which is our Seal and Protect, or number 3 from Kiara Skies. This is going to help basically activate everything, dry everything out, so that your nail is good to go, so that you can file it. And it's going to suck it right in. Look at that. Boom. Now, I've had some people who do dip leave their nail at this step, where they don't apply anything else. They literally just leave it this shape, which is fine. You can do that. Right now, it's not ready because it still doesn't make that click, click noise like my nail does. That's not doing that. So we're going to let it dry. And then we are going to just file it lightly and buff it. Okay, so this is how it's going to sound when it's done. It should be more like a clickety-clackety sound. It shouldn't be soft. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our file on the rougher side, and you're going to basically tuck the sides. File it just so that it's straight. Now, if it's like crazy bumpy and you're like, whoa, I don't know what I did, you can obviously take it more and file more, but you want to keep your file straight. Obviously, mine is going to be moving because of the fact it's a flexi hand and the nail's stuck inside. So that's all we're going to do. Same thing to the side, the bottom part. Now, what I personally like to do when I'm filing nails is I always feel like the ends always kind of look a little bit more chunky in general. So when I'm filing, I'm keeping straight, but I'm also kind of going in this way, if that makes sense. So it kind of decreases the bulk on the sides. So it kind of makes it look more flush, because this area just has a tendency of building up a lot more. This one didn't do it as much, but we're still going to do it. Then we're going to do the bottom. Filing it straight as best I can with the way this nail keeps moving. And then I like to also go with the rougher side first around the nail, because you want to make sure it's pretty flat. You don't have to do, oh, nail. That's hilarious. Well, we'll do our best not to be rough. But the same principle applies when I file my nail. I'm not going crazy, but I am lifting. I would have done these on my natural nail, but because I'm doing so many different products, I was like, I need to just do this on the flexi hand. So basically that's what you're going to do. You're just going to file to make sure it's smooth. And I love the way Young Nails describes nails when it comes to the thickness. You don't want your tip to be bigger than a credit card. So like if you look at my nails, they're not that thick. So there's no need for it to be extra thick at the tip. You want your strength to pretty much be in the back part. Or I mean, I should actually say the middle part of your nail, where your apex should naturally form. And with short nails, especially if you're putting it over your own nail, you don't need it crazy thick. So we're just applying it around. Oh, I'm trying to pop up on me again. Go back. I might have not pushed this tip all the way in, and that's why it's popping out a little bit more. So let's see if it's fairly even. It is. So then I'm going to take my softer side just to go around it. It's like my final buffer. Just so that it's nice and smooth, but not like crazy bone smooth. Also around my cuticle area. I don't take it so much with the rougher one unless I just have like a huge ridge, because it will be really easy for you to eat up your cuticle area with the rougher one. So same thing. Dust my nail off. Now, if you do have a nail buffer, you can use these two. Sorry. So you can always just take that and buff off the final layer to kind of just give it that extra finish. If you want, it's your choice. You can still get away with just the file. So I feel like I didn't do all of him because he shrunk in. But look how pretty he looks. He's super smooth. He's a good thickness. He's not crazy. And this nail ain't gonna be breaking on nobody. Okay, so the final step is your tappy coat. Now you can do another seal and protect. I've seen some people do that. I don't think it's necessary, but some people will on this point. A lot of times I feel like nails is kind of like one of those things. It's like just figuring out what works for you. So the top coat is pretty much the same thing as your base coat. So FYI, if you ever run out of your base coat, you can technically use your top coat because it's the same thing. The only difference is you're just not mixing your powders the same way or brushing it and risking it getting the powders in it. So now you're going to take your top coat. And I always like to, like I said, bounce it a little bit. That way, I like to get every section. And that is your completed nail. Being a perfectionist, getting on my sides. But look how pretty that is. And it's such a pretty glitter. When I saw that from Matte and Glam, I was like, I'll need this glitter in my life. So you're going to just let it dry. And then that nail's complete. And that is the beauty with the dip powder. You don't need to have a top coat of your own because they provide this one for you. A lot of other ones, you kind of need to get a top coat for. Like if you're doing gel or anything like that, like you need a finishing coat. But because this system is a complete system, you don't need anything like that. And if you get the one that has color, you're fine. So this is your nail. So I hope you enjoyed that. The next nail we will do is an extension nail. I can do it in a color so you can kind of see it because I feel like glitter you can kind of get away with making it look perfect kind of no matter what. So we will experiment with that on the next one with an extension nail. So I will talk to you later. Oh, you know what? I lied. It's because I have a prosthetic finger. I'm not going to be using anything else. They also give you a nail brush saver, which is to help clean your brush for your base or your top coat if it starts acting up on you. And then they also give you a cuticle topper for your cuticle area, but obviously I'm not going to do that because there's no need for that because we have a fake finger. So, but this guy is one of my favorite cuticle oils. I use this one in general. Doesn't matter if it's for the whole dip nails. I just like to use it. So, okay. Well, you guys have a wonderful day and enjoy yourself. And that is it. This is our dip nail. Quick and easy and simple.